All right. Shalom, family. It's your brother Kanaiba coming at you once again with this video titled The Turning of Things Upside Down. New trend of baby girls. Okay. So, I know a lot of you are looking at this thumbnail and saying, well, this is a very curious thumbnail. Even looking at the title of the video, you're probably thinking, it's kind of weird, right? Well, let's get a bit of context of what this video is going to be about. Okay. I want to say maybe a week or so ago, I did another video from Melanie King's YouTube channel. Remember about the Nike campaign, how they're losing money over the campaign where they used a transgender basically to promote female sport bras, right? And within that video, Melanie King was saying, that pretty much saying that they're trying to, replace women or get rid of women. And I said, well, when you look at that from, maybe a two-dimensional perspective, she's correct. But, looking at it deeper, from a more three-dimensional perspective, it's not so much that they're trying to get rid of women. I said they're trying to get rid of the concept of gender in general. That's what I said in that particular video. So now that leads us to this video. Okay, we're going to look at the flip side of things. Okay, because this actually is going to further prove the point that I was making in that previous video. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to look at another YouTube channel, a video from another YouTube channel, which is the comment section with Brett Cooper, right? And I'm not even going to give too much away because this new trend is ridiculous. You actually have to see it to believe it. Okay? So without further ado, we're going to get into that video, okay? Because this is truly the turning of things upside down, as the scriptures says. Okay? So now, let's get into it.
Welcome back to the comment section. I'm Brett Cooper. So obviously we talk a lot about dating and male and female relationships on the show. And obviously, as we have discussed on the show at length, there is a large sect of mostly American women who believe that masculinity is toxic and they prefer soft boys or women. Let's be real, they might be lesbians. But now we have a new term for this type of modern, endearing, non-toxic man. They are baby girl boys.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Thank you, Mr. Russell Westbrook. My sentiments exactly. Okay, but yeah, you heard it correct. Okay, you don't have to adjust the volume or clean out your ears. You heard it correct. The new trend is calling a specific type of man baby girl. Okay, which basically is the opposite of a quote unquote masculine man. Okay, but she's going to get into the definition. Okay, let's continue. Watch this.
And apparently, chicks dig them, and we're going to talk about it today. But before we get into it, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to the channel if you've not already, and then ring that notification bell so that you never miss a comment section or one of our live streams. All right, so I have heard this baby girl term being thrown around for months now, specifically on TikTok, and girls online will comment and they'll say, oh, he is so baby girl. I love him. Like, that is how it is used in a sentence. And for us serious lexicologists, I turn to Urban Dictionary for a more full explanation. Baby girl. Word used to describe a cute, submissive man that exudes the essence of being fertile.
Okay, so looking at this definition from the Urban Dictionary, there are a couple of things we need to point out. Okay, let's deal with this right here at the beginning. It's saying a word used to describe a cute, submissive man. Well, here, let's deal with the hypocrisy. Okay. A lot of these will be the same women that have a problem or an issue with the Bible basically commanding women to be submissive to their husband. But yet these same women will turn around and want a man that they proclaim to be a quote-unquote baby girl because he's a submissive man. Do you not see the hypocrisy there? That's blatant hypocrisy. Okay? And then it goes on to say what? A man that exudes the essence of being fertile. Well, here's the issue. Okay? Because this whole definition is really a lie. Okay? Even though there's probably a small subgroup of weird women that want a man like this, most women today still want their man to be masculine. Okay, traditionally masculine. Okay, but the fact that it says that it's a man that exudes the essence of being fertile, that's scientifically, that's not correct. Okay, if any of you, may dabble in, this part of science, when a woman is ovulating, okay, when a woman is most fertile, okay, she's more sexually attracted to a certain type of man. And it's not this. Okay? They're usually more attracted to a man that's traditionally masculine. Okay, what they today would deem toxically masculine. Okay, when a woman is most fertile, she's more attracted to a more traditionally masculine man because that type of man is the one that actually exudes being fertile. Okay, again, it's scientifically proven. Okay, even when you go into the red pill sphere, okay, I don't really dabble that much into it, but I do know some of the terms. Okay. And one of the terms is, and excuse my language, but it's alpha fucks beta bucks. Okay? Now, what does that mean exactly? Okay? It's going into the theory or the belief that women, they will sleep with and have offspring with men who are deemed alphas. Okay, which again are masculine men, more traditionally masculine men that would be deemed toxic today. Okay, then it goes on to say again, beta bucks, meaning these women, they're not so much sexually attracted to the beta, but when she's, done really sleeping around with these quote unquote alpha males, what she'll do, she'll look to settle down with the quote unquote less attractive beta male that, may have money. But he doesn't have those more traditionally masculine traits that actually attracts women, physically or sexually turns them on. Okay, so that's basically what that's going into. But like I was saying, that theory in and of itself pretty much debunks this definition that you see on the screen here. Okay, no woman really wants what you see on the screen. Okay, but going back to my original point with this whole term baby girl, okay, why would you call a grown man, a girl, let alone a baby girl? Okay, he's not a girl at all. He's a man, right? So this just goes back into that point that I was making. It's not so much that they're trying to get rid of women. Going back to the previous video I did, it's not so much they're trying to get rid of women, but they're trying to get rid of this whole concept of gender in general. Okay, that again, they're calling a man a girl, a baby girl. That makes absolutely no sense at all. Okay? But anyway, let's continue with the video.
OMG, that boy is so baby girl. Lovely. Do you guys identify with being baby girl, Jared and Caleb?
And of course, that's all you're gonna hear are crickets. Because again, I would wager that the number of men that would identify with this term baby girl is probably less than 2%. Okay, no man in his right mind would be okay with being called a baby girl. Okay, that's actually insulting. Okay, to a normal man. Okay, and again, I still believe most women, would not want to call a man a baby girl. But again, this is an agenda that's being pushed. Okay, it's no different from the Nike campaign. Okay, with the transgender basically being a model for female sports bras. Okay, it's really no different. Okay, they're trying to get rid of the concept of gender in general. They're trying to blur those quote unquote gender lines, or really just get rid of them. Okay.
And then another definition is baby girl, a term used towards grown fictional men who have the fandom in a loving chokehold. And apparently, they do have women in a chokehold, at least according to the New York Post, which is where I first saw this. They tweeted out, "Women are loving men who embrace baby girl vibe and ditch toxic masculinity." And
now, this is coming from the New York Post. Now, if this particular article is coming from an entity as big as the New York Post, you know that there is an agenda behind this. Okay? And again, look at what the article says. It says women are loving men who embrace baby girl vibes and ditch toxic masculinity. Well, let's get something clear. There's nothing toxic about masculinity. Okay? But there is an agenda to quote unquote demonize and get rid of traditional masculinity. Okay, because again, traditional masculinity brings forth order. Okay, and we know that through feminism, most women have been conditioned to not want, male authority over them, but that's exactly what women need. Okay, because without that male authority, aka masculinity, you have chaos. Okay, and we know when women, most women, not all, but most women, when they're left to their own devices, they tend to self-destruct. Okay, but that's why masculinity is so important, to keep them within order. Okay, so they don't self-destruct, or in other words, bring harm to themselves. Okay, but anyway, let's continue.
they have a photo of Jacob Elordi, Timothée Chalamet, and Pedro Pascal.
You sure about that?
Because are you really sure? Because I think a lot of people in the comment section would disagree. One person commented and said, no. A few woke women and a lot of fake women who are extremely vocal are into it. That's it. The majority of women want their men to be masculine.
See? Told you. I was right. Okay, like I said before, I said most men, most normal men would not want to be called a quote-unquote baby girl, and most normal women actually want their men to be quote-unquote masculine. Okay, they don't want this version of a man, this basically not a man, okay? Is basically trying to turn men into females. That's all it is. Again, they're trying to get rid of the concept of gender in general. Okay, when you see little stupid trends like this, you have to understand that there's an agenda behind it. Okay, again, it's no different from the video I did, concerning that Nike campaign. Okay, where I basically reacted to a reaction from, Melanie King. Okay, but anyway, let's continue.
Somebody else said, whoever wrote this article, give up journalism. Another person said, no, we are not. Why are you lying? Now, granted, on TikTok, the response is different. But granted, TikTok is a mind virus.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. Okay, that TikTok is nothing but, Wokesville over there. All the quote-unquote political correctness and wokeness, you can find that on TikTok. Okay, TikTok is ridiculous.
Anyway, watch this. Harry Styles is very baby girl. Unsurprisingly, guys. He is so baby girl. And then her caption is, I'm crying. I think that Harry Styles is probably the most baby girl of the baby girls. Maybe he is the OG baby girl. Maybe that's where baby girl came from. Just wondering. This girl had an emotional, guttural response to Jacob Elordi talking about being a baby girl on SNL.
Right, he is so baby girl.
I know, that's what I said. He's so baby girl.
Me, I'm a baby girl.
Ah! Ah!
Ah, please! Ah!
She's screaming because she wants him so badly and because she wants to be there.
Yeah, and of course it had to be Eve, acting a damn fool, following after this trend. Okay, of course it had to be Eve. Okay, but you know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that even most quote unquote, Israelite women are not really following after this trend. This is an agenda that they're trying to push. Okay, but most women, whether they'll admit it or not, they want their man to be masculine. Okay, this is something they're trying to push and trying to get to be acceptable. Okay, but I nothing will surprise me here in Babylon. Okay, I'll leave it at that. Okay.
The comments were wild. It was like, oh my God, I'm feral. Oh my God, I want him. It's literally what women in TikTok comment sections are saying. Here's one last one. This is like a meme.
But is it against the law, though?
Seatbelt sign.
But is it against the law?
Seatbelt sign is on.
But is it against the law?
Seatbelt sign.
But is it against the law?
It's on.
Law.
Seatbelt sign is on.
Now, of course, somebody on TikTok posted this particular meme, saying, is it against the law? But is it against the law to call grown men baby girl? Well, it depends on what law you're referring to. If we're going into Torah, which is really the only laws that matter, then yeah, of course it's against Torah. Okay, trying to quote unquote blur the or get rid of the gender. Okay, this type of stuff is an abomination. Okay, but anyway, this is ridiculous. But anyway, let's get back to it.
There are also so many videos of grown men and they stitch a comment that has been left on one of their videos. And it's like a comment that says, oh, you're so baby girl. And they're like, what does this mean? Like, I'm not angry, but why do people keep calling me this?
What you mean by baby girl? Do I look like a baby girl to you?
It's like the men genuinely do not know.
Well, of course the men do not know, because men don't expect people to call them a girl when we're not girls. Okay, so of course men are going to be taken aback when somebody refers to them as a baby girl. Okay, it's illogical. Okay, that's why these men simply do not know. Okay, but that's why I titled, part of the title of my video is the turning of things upside down. Okay, this is Babylon. Everything is backwards. It's confusion, which is really what the word Babylon means. Okay, this is a place of confusion, clearly. Okay.
Now, obviously, we have to read the New York Post article because there are some gems in here. First of all, they give their own definition of baby girl, and it completely tops the Urban Dictionary one. They wrote, a man who is baby girl comes across as sweet, charming, a bit bashful, and seemingly in touch with their feminine side, ready to talk about their feelings or carry a purse to brunch at any point.
It's where I keep all my things. I get a lot of compliments on this. Plus, it's not a man purse. It's called a satchel.
It's exactly what women want, and what men want to become, the antithesis of toxic macho masculinity. Did anybody else just throw up in their mouth there? Was it just me?
No, I kind of did too, Miss Cooper. Okay, that whole thing was ridiculous. Okay, but again, there's an agenda being pushed here. Okay, they're trying to demonize masculine men. Okay, and they really want to turn you brothers into women's pretty much gay best friend. Okay, or their female best friend rather. Okay, that's what they're trying to do here. Okay, but we gotta understand, well, really not even us, what women have to understand, we're not them. We don't communicate like women. We don't, process information the same way they do. We don't express ourselves the same way. Okay, there's a difference between the masculine and the feminine, and that's a good thing. That's the way the Most High Yahweh created it. Okay, we're supposed to be complementary to one another. One is not, evil and the other good. Okay, we're both supposed to be complementary to one another. That's what the masculine and the feminine is supposed to do in its purest form. Okay? But it's going to be interesting. Okay, I may get into it later, but it's going to be interesting when Jacob's trouble really hits. Okay? I wonder are these same women that actually go along with this trend? I wonder, are they going to be looking for baby girls to protect them in that particular time? Or will they be singing a different tune, and will they be turning to these traditionally masculine men that they tend to demonize now? Okay, because they're going to realize that these quote-unquote baby girls, okay, these feminine men cannot protect them in that time. Okay, and really these quote-unquote masculine men ain't going to be able to do it either unless they're actually righteous men of the elect. Okay, but anyway, let's continue.
This literally sounds like a line that Carrie Bradshaw would write in Sex and the City if it was set in 2024 and she was a woke man-hater. That's literally what it sounds like. And on another note, are we even sure that men want to be called baby girl, that they like?
On behalf of normal masculine men everywhere, no, we do not like that, and no, we don't want to be called baby girls. Okay, I believe I could speak for all of us, and that no, we don't like it. We don't want to be called it ever, and please don't do it. Okay, but what we're gonna do, we're gonna fast forward just a bit because she's about to go into a promotion. Then she's gonna get back on topic. Let's fast forward just a bit here.
So pause this video, go subscribe, and then come back because we need to get into this article because there are some gems. As I was reading this, I was thinking to myself, who did they speak to gather this intel? We figured it out. A Columbia University sexuality expert. Wouldn't you know? Quote, traditionally, highlighting feminine qualities in men has been a put down, but this doesn't seem to be the case with baby girl, which almost has a celebratory quality. I'm sorry, ma'am, but you do not speak for all of us. New York Post also argued that women today are outpacing men in graduating from college and buying homes. They're out-earning men in several states and freezing their eggs to take the pressure off of rushing into parenthood.
Now, looking at what she just read, that highlighted part of the article, a lot of that is false and it lacks context. Okay? It says women today are outpacing men and graduating from college. Well, again, that lacks context. Okay? What degrees are they getting? Okay? They're outpacing men as far as what's known as humanities. They're not outpacing men when it comes to degrees or jobs that basically build and sustain society. And what is that? That's known as STEM: science, technology, engineering, and math. Women are not outpacing men in STEM, which is actually what keeps this society going. It builds and keeps this society going. Women are into quote unquote humanities. Okay? When you look at big infrastructures like bridges and buildings and things of this nature, those types of things take engineers, not somebody that has a degree in gender studies, okay, or fine arts or communications or anything like that. Those are humanities, okay? But the things that actually build and sustain society, that's what men are thriving in. It's called STEM. Women are not thriving in that, as far as education goes. Okay, then it goes on to say they're outpacing men as far as buying homes. Okay, well, buying a home is okay, but that's not, quote unquote, a flex, because a home is a liability, contrary to popular belief. Okay, it's not an asset. Anything that costs you money instead of, quote unquote, making you money is a liability. Okay, and that, again, is putting women further in debt. And we know women are outpacing men as far as being the biggest debt consumers. Okay, but the article is not going to talk about that. Okay, then it goes on to say that women are out earning men in several states. Well, I talked about this in one of my previous videos. Men on average still earn more than women. Okay, the average annual, median income for men is still higher than that of women on average. Okay, and again, we're going into freezing their eggs to take the pressure off of parenthood. Well, that part I can believe. Okay, because again, feminism has, indoctrinated women into believing that motherhood is something to be demonized. Okay.
Quote, women are fiercely independent. Women don't need men.
And I've said this once and I'll continue saying it. There is no such thing as an independent woman. Okay, that's an illusion. There's no such thing as an independent woman. Okay, but here in the article, this nutcase, whoever wrote the article, is saying women are fiercely independent and women don't need men. Well, it's easy for you to make that false claim living so comfortably in a society that men built and continue to maintain. Okay, if there's really a such thing as an independent woman, and I've put this challenge out there, constantly. Okay, and I've yet to see any woman that stepped up to the plate. But if women are truly independent, okay, fine. Stop using every creation, invention, building, etc. that has come from men throughout the annals of history. Stop using it right now. And that includes the home you live in, the cars you drive, the plumbing you use, the electricity, and everything that you use on a day-to-day basis, okay, to survive, that men created. Stop using it right now if you truly don't need men and if you're truly independent. Okay, but that whole idea of an independent woman, that's a facade. There's no such thing. Okay.
So I think that women have priorities that are better for them. It used to be that the connotation of masculine was that you can be a tough guy or protector physically. And I think that the concept of like an emotional protector being there for you is something that's become more important than just someone's physical presence. First of all, I didn't even think about this when I was reading it. The world is an incredibly violent place. It is only getting worse thanks to the fact that no Democrats care about law and order anymore.
And not to mention, like I said earlier, Jacob's trouble is right around the corner. Okay, that's why I was saying earlier, I wonder if women like the one that wrote this ridiculous article, I wonder if women like that are going to be looking for these baby girls in that day, okay, when stuff truly hits the fan during Jacob's trouble, okay? Are they going to be still saying that, men protecting them emotionally is what's important and not them being protected, quote unquote, physically, okay? Because during Jacob's trouble, you're not going to be emotionally attacked. You're going to be physically attacked. Okay, so these same men that you're demonizing right now, you're going to be looking to them for that physical protection in that day. Okay, but for some of you, unfortunately, it's going to be too late. Okay, it may just be judgment for you, for having this ridiculous frame of mind. Okay, but anyway, let's continue.
I think women would like to be physically protected. Granted, I know there are a lot of men out there who are like, I don't want to protect those women. I understand. But women, it is in your best interest for men to be masculine. It works out for both of us. It's kind of the way the sexes were supposed to be. Anyway, I read that little blurb and I was just thinking, man, this is going to make men feel so great. You don't need them. You don't necessarily want them. But if you do want them, it's going to be in a very specific female-centric way. Got it. Do not ever tell me that we live in a patriarchy ever again. This is a matriarchy through and through. Women control it all.
Well, of course it seems like that because this country is deeply rooted in Mother Goddess worship. Okay, and they want the quote unquote women of this society to be microcosms of the quote unquote Mother Goddess, aka the whore of Babylon. Okay, that you read about in Revelation, the 17th chapter. They want them to be microcosms of that particular, idea. Okay, we know that that's basically a metaphor when it talks about the whore of Babylon. Okay, it's talking about America, but it's still it's still a particular idea or frame of mind that they want these women to be a microcosm of, so to speak. Okay, this place is deeply rooted in mother goddess worship. Okay, in fact, when you read in that same chapter, I'm gonna probably butcher the verse, but it talks about I believe the proverbial whore of Babylon has something written on her head, and I believe it was called the mother of harlots. Okay, it's really, again, this place is rooted in mother goddess worship. Okay, and they want women to be microcosms of that. Okay, that's why they particularly try to push the woman into the forefront. Okay.
Women are dominating in almost every category. They control when sexual encounters happen. They're freezing their own damn eggs. They hate men. That's a matriarchy. Anyway, then in the article, they talked about fashion and how specific fashion trends and being more fashion gender fluid is so baby girl, like Jacob Elordi carrying purses and Pedro Pascal wearing those little short shorts at the Met Gala. Timothy Chalamet constantly wearing, sequin suits on red carpets. They also brought up how Gen Z is very interested in bending gender norms, so all of this is in line with them, yada, yada, yada.
Bending gender norms, or more importantly, getting rid of the concept of gender altogether. Okay, because remember I told you that there is an agenda behind this. Okay, it's not that they're just trying to get rid of women, or they're just trying to get rid of men. They really want to get rid of the concept of both. Okay, because you got to understand that within the quote-unquote craft, they venerate what's known as Hermes. Okay, also the Rebus, which is the divine transgender or the divine hermaphrodite. Okay, they want to get rid of this concept of male and female or gender in general. Okay, and not to mention what's known today as the quote-unquote Baphomet, which has both male and female parts. Okay, which I went into in that video about Nike. Okay, but anyway, let's continue.
They wrote, about 31% of American men have actively changed their behavior to become more vulnerable and open with the people that they are dating, according to Bubble's 2024 dating reports. Quote, men are now more comfortable showing who they are emotionally, their authentic selves, and letting their personalities shine through instead of putting up barriers and worrying about being too emotionally expressive. And for a quarter of men, 25% globally, this newfound openness has had a positive impact on their emotional state. And this is where I really have a problem with the trend, because I don't really care what kind of man you are or woman you are or what you are attracted to. Like, everybody has their own style. Fashion is weird, whatever, express yourself, do not care. But men being comfortable expressing their emotions and communicating with their partners should not be considered a baby girl vibe or effeminate in the slightest. Like, that is simply a healthy, normal thing to do, and it should not take away from one's masculinity. Like, obviously, it is important not to live entrenched in your emotional state. That is not healthy for men or women, and I do believe that an inability to handle your emotions can weaken a man. Whether that means being too emotional or being completely unemotional and being angry and taking it out on your loved ones, like, neither of those are good. You need to be able to express yourself and handle it. But at some point, you're going to have to express yourself and handle it and not just keep it bottled up. Because at some point, you're going to have to pick up the pieces, take responsibility, keep your life moving for both you and your family. However, in order to be a good boyfriend, a good husband, a good son, brother, father, friend, you do have to be able to communicate and express your feelings and what you need, and then, of course, take action to address whatever the problem or situation might be. And this is especially important during a time when so many men in our world are dealing with silent depression and anxiety, when women are outpacing men in basically every category.
Well, that's not true, and we already pretty much addressed that with that highlighted part of the article. Okay, but I get what she's trying to say. Okay, with all the other stuff she's saying, she's pretty much on point for the most part.
When the majority of the homeless population is male, this is not the time to be dragging them through the feminist mud. Telling men that they are so baby girl when they are just open with their emotions is not going to help or empower the vast majority of Western men. Like, our society has spent years now telling men to be open and vulnerable and express themselves, and then the moment they start doing that, we turn around and say, that's effeminate. You're so baby girl. Do you not see how ridiculous that is? And women, in their own twisted way, might think that this is a compliment, but it's a put down. And I doubt a lot of men will see it in the same light that you do. Just stop. It's weird.
Yes, it is weird. It's not a compliment at all. Okay. But that is actually the end of her video. Okay. And so what I want to do now is I want to get into one verse, which is part of the title of my video. Okay. Because it ties right into what we're dealing with here. All right. So let's take a look. So this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 29 and verse 16. And it reads, it says, surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. For shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not? Or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding? Okay, so again, the Most High in this situation, of course, is the potter. We being the creation, we are the clay. Okay, and he molds us and creates us in the way that he so desires. Okay, and us being the creation cannot turn to the Most High and say that he created us the wrong way, or that he had no understanding when he created us. But that's exactly what they do when they try to get rid of the concept of gender. Okay, or when people want to, quote unquote, become a transformer, for lack of a better term. Okay, you're basically saying the Most High was wrong in the way he created you, and that he didn't know what he was doing. Okay, and you are grossly in error if you have that mind frame. Okay, but anyway, that is going to be the end of this video. And again, the title of this video is The Turning of Things Upside Down, New Trend of Baby Girls. Okay, and again, like I've been saying throughout the duration of this video, this is clearly an agenda and an attack on the concept of gender. Okay, why would you call grown men baby girls, or any type of girl for that matter? Okay, we're not girls, we're not females. Okay, we are men. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with being men. There's nothing wrong with being a masculine man. There's nothing toxic about masculinity. Okay, so, don't feel bombarded with these new Luciferian ideologies. Okay, there's nothing wrong with being a masculine man. Okay, so with that, and as always, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High Yahweh, which is the name of the Heavenly Father, and I do so by Hashem, which means in the name of Yahweh Shai, which is the name of the only begotten Son of the Heavenly Father, whom the world knows as Jesus Christ. And I want to thank all you brothers and sisters for tuning in. I hope this video was informative and edifying. And until next time, Shalom, family.